Virtual reality immerses a person into an experience that's out of this world. But in the early 1930s, the Link Company of Binghamton used VR for its first time to train pilots to fly in times of war and peace. After World War II, Link moved to commercial and smaller model simulators that were made right here at home.
Built in Binghamton by Link. Link at the time was making a number of significant aircraft, major aircraft for the airlines and for the militaries.
The GAT-1 was used to train pilots on a Cessna 120 with working controls that closely replicate the motion of flying. TechWorks in Binghamton has these simulators on display and people can try their hand at operating them. Industry professionals speak highly of the model even half a century after it was produced.
This is reasonably accurate. Yeah, we had a fellow in last week, an aeronautical engineer from Boeing, flew it last week, and it was kind of interesting because he was far more knowledgeable in flight than we, and he was quite impressed by it.
Link also created something that was out of this world. Well, at least it tried to bring people there. Link was contracted by NASA to build a lunar simulator for its astronauts. Link helped produce the Apollo and Lunar Exertion Module, or LEM, simulators. The device utilizes giant mirrors to reflect a moving image of the stars that replicates flying through space. In order to find their way around space, astronauts had to use the stars as a navigation system. This machine here has a rotating ball that is infused with different sized ball bearings that represent a scale model of stars throughout the solar system. Link Apollo engineer John Lash was sent to Houston and the Cape Canaveral Air Force Station, the current site of Kennedy Space Center in Florida.
What they would do there is practice coming up to each other and doing the docking so that they could transfer from the LEM to the Apollo and vice versa.
Lash says the technology was infused into NASA's shuttle program until it ceased in 2011.
Without the simulators, it's very doubtful that they could succeed in a mission. The starball accuracy, and to this day, they say they're the most accurate they've seen.
Although these are significant innovations, does it validate our claim as the birthplace of VR?
When you look at what was developed at that time, some of the viewing materials and surfaces we used at the time were high-definition TV at the time.
Literally thousands of pilots learned to fly on the Link Blue Box, which again was developed in the 20s and 30s. So, you know, that's pretty significant.
Whether it was born here or not, the reality is the Link Company provided a virtual experience that launched our innovations to the moon and back. In Binghamton, Mike Tanzini, News Channel 34.